నీట్ 2020 ఫలితాలలో ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ విద్యార్థుల ప్రభంజనం. ఆల్ ఇండియా కేటగిరీలో థర్డ్ ర్యాంక్ సాధించిన శ్రీశాంత్ కు మా అభినందనలు. ఇంతటి అఖండ విజయానికి ప్రోత్సహించిన అధ్యాపకులకు మా కృతజ్ఞతలు.
So, let us continue with ionic equilibrium. The first theory is Arrhenius theory of electrolytic dissociation. This was explained by Arrhenius way back in the 19th century. So, he tried to explain how an electrolyte behaves when dissolved in water. So, let us consider an electrolyte AB. Let us consider an electrolyte AB. So, when it is dissolved in water, he observed that it dissociates into cation, positively charged ion, and anion. So, when an electrolyte is dissolved in water, it dissociates into cation and anion. Since it contains ions, what kind of charge the solution possesses? The solution as a whole is electrically neutral. Yes, it contains ions, but it is electrically neutral. Why? The sum of total positive charge is exactly equal to sum of total negative charge. Therefore, the solution, the electrolyte solution as a whole is electrically neutral. That is the second point. So, although the solution contains ions, it is electrically neutral because sum of the total positive charge is exactly equal to sum of the total negative charge. It is a moderate concentration. So, what do you mean by moderate? Not high, not low. At moderate concentration, there exists an equilibrium. There exists an equilibrium between undissociated molecules and its ions. Now, these are ABR undissociated molecules. And these are ions. The equilibrium existing between undissociated molecule and its ions, we call it as ionic equilibrium. The equilibrium existing between undissociated molecules and its ions, we call it as ionic equilibrium. So, here the electrolyte is dissociating to small extent, therefore, he introduced the word degree of dissociation. Already we have studied, but still let us try to understand the meaning of degree of dissociation. So, degree of dissociation is defined as number of moles of electrolyte dissociated, number of moles of electrolyte dissociated by their initial moles. By their initial moles, if you write percentage alpha, you have to multiply with 100. So, what is degree of dissociation? It is a ratio of number of moles of electrolyte dissociated to that of initial moles. So, this is about the Arrhenius theory. He proposed that electrolyte dissociates into ions and there may exist an equilibrium between undissociated molecule and its ions at a particular moderate concentration, which we call it as ionic equilibrium. So, let us study Ostwald's dilution law. So, this theory explains the effect of dilution on degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. How degree of dissociation depends upon dilution or concentration. Let us proceed. So applying, let us consider an electrolyte. Let us consider an electrolyte. So I am considering AB as electrolyte. So AB dissociates into A plus and B minus. The electrolyte AB dissociates into A plus and B minus. So if I take 1 mole of AB, if it dissociates completely, then you will get 1 mole of cation and 1 mole of anion. This is stoichiometric mole ratio from the balanced chemical equation. At a time t equal to 0, that means I am taking some initial constant. Let us assume I have taken C moles per liter of AB. C moles per liter of AB. The initial concentration of A plus and B minus is 0 because the dissociation is not started at time t equal to 0. So imagine that the dissociation has started. Say its degree of dissociation is alpha. The degree of dissociation is alpha. So what is the meaning of this? Suppose you have 100 rupees. You have 100 rupees. Your father has given you permission to spend 10% of the money you have. So out of 100, what is the meaning of 10%? 10% of 100 is nothing but 10 rupees. Right? 10% of 100 is nothing but 10 rupees. Suppose if you have 200 rupees, then 10% of 200 is nothing but 20 rupees. Right? If you have 10 rupees, 10% of 10 rupees is 1. Similarly, here I have C moles. Let us assume the degree of dissociation as alpha. That means for every 100 moles, alpha moles are dissociated. But I don't have 100, I have only C. I have only C. Then what is number of moles reacted? It becomes C into alpha. Right? It is like 10% of 100, that is nothing but 10. Similarly, if alpha is the degree of dissociation, C is the initial concentration, then C alpha will represent number of moles reacted. C is initial concentration, alpha is degree of dissociation. Alpha is nothing but your 10%, C is nothing but the amount you have. So out of C moles, C alpha moles are reacted. After this, the system has attained equilibrium. Let us assume that the system has attained equilibrium. Now what is the characteristics of equilibrium? At equilibrium, the concentrations remains constant. So out of C moles, if C alpha moles are reacted, left over will be C minus C alpha. From 1 mole, for 1 mole if it dissociates completely you will get 1, but we don't have 1, we have only C alpha. So for C alpha you will get C alpha and C alpha, 1 and 1. So C alpha and C alpha. So at equilibrium, the concentration of A plus is equal to B minus equal to C alpha. The concentration of AB equal to C minus C alpha, nothing but C into 1 minus alpha. Applying law of chemical equilibrium. Applying law of chemical equilibrium. So what is law of chemical equilibrium? K equal to equilibrium concentration of the products by equilibrium concentration of reactants. Equilibrium concentration of products by reactants. So this is equal to C alpha C into 1 minus alpha. So C will be cancelled. Okay, that we will see in the next step. So this equation is applicable for both strong and weak electrolytes. But here I am applying for weak electrolyte. For weak electrolytes, remember condition apply, that is for weak electrolytes. Weak electrolytes alpha value is much less than 1. Already we have studied this in the last class. Weak electrolyte dissociates partially. So very less amount will dissociate compared to the initial moles. So its alpha value will be less than 1. So if alpha is less than 1, 1 minus alpha can be approximately taken as 1. So this value becomes 1. Right? Remember condition apply, what is that? For weak electrolytes. So, whatever the conditions we are going to study, they are applicable only for weak electrolytes, not for strong electrolytes. So, upon simplification, what I will get? K equal to C alpha square. 1 minus alpha approximately taken 1. C will be cancelled. So, we will get C alpha square. K equal to C alpha square. Alpha equal to root over K by C. But C equal to N by V. Concentration equal to number of moles by volume of solution in liter. So, let N equal to 1 mole. Therefore, C equal to 1 by V. C equal to 1 by V. So, alpha, that is degree of dissociation, is directly proportional to square root of 1 by concentration of solution. C is nothing but concentration, or directly proportional to volume of solution. So, instead of C, what I can write? 1 by V, right. So, here alpha equal to root over K into V if N equal to 1, right. So, volume of solution is nothing but dilution. Volume of solution increases with the dilution. So, the degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. Why weak electrolyte? Because 1 minus alpha will be equal to 1 only for weak electrolytes, not for strong electrolytes. So, Ostwald's dilution law is applicable only for weak electrolytes. What it says? For weak electrolytes, the degree of dissociation increases with increase in dilution or with decrease in concentration, because concentration is inversely proportional to volume. The degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte increases with increase in dilution or with increase in volume of solution or with a decrease in concentration of solution. This is applicable only for weak electrolytes. What about for strong electrolytes? For strong electrolytes, I cannot neglect alpha. So, K becomes C alpha by 1 minus, so C get cancelled, C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. So, this is C alpha square equal to K minus K alpha. This will be the equation which it obeys. That is for strong electrolyte. Once again, limitation: Ostwald's dilution law is applicable only for weak electrolytes, right, not for strong electrolytes, and it explains the degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte increases with increase in dilution or with a decrease in concentration. Dissociation constant of weak acid. So, K subscript A, right, dissociation constant of weak acid. Let us consider a weak monobasic acid HA. A weak monobasic acid HA. Weak, it dissociates partially to small extent, only some amount will dissociate. Monobasic, only one proton. You require only one OH minus ion to neutralize the acid. So, since it is a weak electrolyte, I am applying Arrhenius concept. When you dissolve in water, it dissociates into H plus and A minus. There exists an equilibrium between undissociated acid and its ions. So, this is acid, proton, conjugate base. So, weak acid, now this is proton and this is conjugate base of Ha, conjugate base of Ha, because they differ by proton. So, in what ratio they are reacting? If I take 1 mole of Ha, if it dissociates completely, I will get 1 mole of H plus and 1 mole of A minus. So, this is stoichiometric mole ratio. So, at time t equal to 0, let us assume its initial concentration as C moles per liter. So, the initial concentration of H plus A minus I am assuming 0 because they are not formed. Number of moles reacted, let us assume degree of dissociation as alpha. So, C alpha will be the number of moles reacted. Right? If alpha is degree of dissociation, then C alpha moles will reacted. So, they are not present, so they will not react. After C alpha moles are dissociated, let us assume the system has attained equilibrium. So, out of C moles, C alpha moles are reacted. So, this is C minus C alpha at equilibrium. H plus ion concentration for 1 you will get 1. But here we have only C alpha moles. So, C alpha moles are reacted, we will get C alpha moles of H plus, C alpha moles of A minus. Therefore, at equilibrium, the concentration of Ha at equilibrium, the concentration of Ha is C minus C alpha, that is C into 1 minus alpha. The concentration of H plus, which is equal to conjugate base A minus, is equal to C alpha. So, applying law of mass action, law of chemical equilibrium or law of mass action. So, Ka, dissociation constant Ka, equilibrium concentration of H plus, A minus, H plus A minus by Ha. So, substituting the values, right. So, here we assumed one condition. What is that? It is a weak monobasic acid, that is weak acid. A weak acid is a weak electrolyte, already we have studied. A weak acid is a weak electrolyte. Therefore, alpha must be less than 1. A weak acid is a weak electrolyte. For weak electrolyte, alpha less than 1. Therefore, 1 minus alpha can be approximately taken as 1. So, what I will get? Ka equal to C alpha square. Alpha equal to root over Ka into C. Correct. So, yes. So, you can even find H plus ion concentration. At equilibrium, this is important, we are going to use at some other place. H plus ion concentration equal to C alpha. So, instead of alpha, what I can write? C into root over Ka by C, that is root over Ka into C. We are going to use this at some other point. So, let us try to understand what are these variables. So, what is C? C represents initial concentration of weak acid, initial concentration of weak acid, alpha, degree of dissociation of weak acid, degree of dissociation of weak acid, or you can say ionization also, no problem, right? Ka, dissociation or ionization constant of weak acid, dissociation or ionization constant of weak acid. Similarly, we can write for weak base. Similarly, we can write for weak base. So let us start for weak base. So let us consider weak base. So K subscript B, dissociation constant of weak base, K subscript B. So let us consider a weak monoacidic base, monoacidic base, BOH, BOH. So if I consider BOH, how it dissociates when dissolved in water according to Arrhenius theory, B plus sign, OH minus. So this is base, right? This is conjugate acid, this is conjugate acid. Right. So if I proceed the normal way, let us say if I take 1 mole of BOH, if it dissociates completely, you will get 1 mole of B plus and 1 mole of OH minus. So at time t equal to 0, let us assume the initial concentration of base as C moles per liter. This 2 will be 0. Number of moles reacted, let us assume alpha is degree of dissociation, then C alpha moles will dissociate. These two are not present. After C alpha moles are dissociated at equilibrium, right? The concentration will be C minus C alpha of BOH, and B plus it is C alpha, C alpha. So applying law of chemical equilibrium, or let us say at equilibrium, the concentration of BOH is C minus C alpha, that is C into 1 minus alpha, B plus is C alpha. So applying law of chemical equilibrium, substituting the values, concentration of the products by concentration of the reactants. So this is C alpha, C alpha, C into 1 minus alpha. So we can further simplify C. So here a weak base is a weak electrolyte. So weak base is a weak electrolyte. So this is what we will get. C is initial concentration of weak base, degree of dissociation of weak base alpha, Kb is dissociation constant of weak base. So let us study relative strength, how to measure the relative strength of two acids. Suppose you have acid 1, say HA1, its initial concentration is C1, dissociation constant is Ka1. Acid 2, another different acid, say HA2, initial concentration C2, dissociation constant is Ka2. Then the relative strength of two acids, that is HA1, acid 1 by HA2, this is equal to, the strength is because of H plus ion from acid 1, H plus ions from acid 2. How do you find H plus ion concentration? Root over Ka1, H plus ion concentration equal to root over Ka1 C1, 1 indicates acid 1, root over Ka2 C2, or simply we can write like this, Ka1 C1 by Ka2 C2. So this will be equal to simply ratio of Ka1 Ka2 if C1 equal to C2, that is equimolar acids, equal concentrations of acids. So this is how we find the relative strength of two acids. Similarly, you can find relative strength of two bases. So the basic character is because of ability to release OH minus ion. So base 1, so let us say BOH, so initial concentration C1, dissociation constant Kb1, base 2, let us assume BOH, say this is, okay, 1, 2 represent the difference in nature, C1, C2, Kb2. C1, C2 initial concentration, Kb values are dissociation constant. So the relative strength of base 1 to that of base 2 is their ability to release OH minus ion. So OH minus ion concentration from base 1, OH minus ion concentration from base 2. Just now we have studied that OH minus ion concentration equal to Kb1 C1 Kb2 C2, or simply you can write Kb1 C1 Kb2 C2, right. So the same condition I am applying, if concentrations are same, then simply they are ratio of Kb1 and Kb2, provided that if C1 equals to C2, that means two bases have same concentrations. So this is how we can measure the relative strength of two acids, right, measure of ability to release H plus ions. Ionic product of water, pure water, let us take pure water. Pure water is a weak electrolyte. Pure water is a weak electrolyte and it is amphoteric in nature. Water is amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric means it can act like an acid as well as base. So let us write the meaning of amphoteric. I am taking two water molecules. Say one is behaving like an acid and other is behaving like a base. So there is a transfer of proton from this water molecule to this water. So this is accepting a proton, forming H3O plus. This water molecule is losing a proton, forming OH minus. Or the same thing you can write like this: H2O dissociates into H plus plus OH minus. So the difference is, this is the correct one. The difference is, in aqueous solution, in water, H plus does not exist. It exists as H3O plus. It exists as H3O plus. But in most cases we use H plus only. But you have to remember that in aqueous solution, H plus concentration is equal to H3O plus concentration. H plus does not exist. It exists as H3O plus. So applying law of mass action or law of chemical equilibrium. So what I will get? K equal to H plus ion concentration into OH minus ion concentration into water. Here H2O is a pure liquid. Pure liquid. Its concentration is assumed to be constant. It will dissociate, but the mass that dissociates is very less. So this is also constant. Concentration is assumed to be constant. Constant into constant, that is another constant. Constant into constant, another constant. So we are writing it as Kw, nothing but another equilibrium constant, H plus into OH minus. This Kw we call it as ionic product of water. How do you define? Ionic product of water, or Kw, is equal to the product of molar concentrations of reactants. So here, sorry, the product of molar concentration of H plus and OH minus ions. Once again, the ionic product of water is defined as product of molar concentration of H plus and molar concentration of OH minus. Now Kw, like, it's an equilibrium constant. So Kw is nothing but an equilibrium constant. Like equilibrium constant, only its value only depends on temperature. So the ionic product value, which is a equilibrium constant, only depends upon temperature. The numerical value of Kw only depends on temperature. That means if you want to change the value of Kw, you have to change temperature. So make a note of this point. The value of Kw, ionic product of water, only depends on temperature, does not depend upon concentrations of H plus and OH minus. Why? If you increase H plus ion concentration, OH minus will decrease such that the product remains constant. If you decrease H plus, OH minus will increase such that the product will remain constant. Similarly with OH minus. So remember, if you change the concentration of any of these two, then Kw value will not change, because if you increase one, the other concentration of other component, other variable will decrease such that the product remains constant. So Kw only depends on temperature. How it depends, that we will study, right? That I will explain, but doesn't depend upon concentrations of H plus and OH minus. Coming to the units, molar into molar. Molar into molar is molar square. Molar square, or moles per liter whole square. Moles per liter whole square. Right. So Kw equal to H plus and OH minus. In case of neutral solution, Right. In neutral solution, the number of H plus ion must be equal to OH minus ions. That means the concentration of H plus must be equal to OH minus. So what I will do, in case of neutral solution, H plus can be replaced with OH minus ion concentration because both are same, or OH minus ion can be replaced with H plus. So I will substitute here. What I will get? H plus, instead of OH minus I am writing again H plus because both are equal. Or what I can do, instead of H plus I can write OH minus because both are same, OH minus into OH minus. So what I will get is H plus equal to square root of Kw equal to OH minus. So this is the condition for neutral solution. H plus and OH minus and concentration equal to square root of Kw. Why? Because Kw doesn't remain constant always. If temperature changes, the value of Kw changes. So to find that H plus and OH minus and concentration in neutral solution, this is the equation. So what is an acidic solution? An acidic solution is one which contains more H plus ions than OH minus ions. So if H plus ion concentration greater than OH minus, then the solution is said to be acidic. Or the same thing I can write like this, H plus greater than square root of Kw. Compared to a neutral solution, in neutral solution both are equal. But if it is acidic, then H plus should be greater than square root of Kw. Or what I can write, OH minus less than square root of Kw. Then the solution is acidic. The solution is acidic in nature. If H plus less than OH minus or OH greater than H plus, or you can write like this, H plus less than square root of Kw or OH minus greater than square root of Kw, then solution is basic in nature. If H plus equal to OH minus equal to Kw, then the solution is neutral.
రెండు 2020 జేఈఈ మెయిన్ ఫలితాలలో ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ విద్యార్థుల ప్రభంజనం. ఆల్ ఇండియా అన్ని కేటగిరీస్లో 18, 35, 251, 253, 582, 606, 778, 780, 812, 821, 1031, 1039, 1303, 1575, 1654, 1753, 1754, 1978 ర్యాంకులే కాక మరెన్నో ఉత్తమ ఫలితాలు సాధించిన విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్. ఈ ఫలితాలు సాధించడానికి కారణమైన లెక్చరర్లు మరియు తల్లిదండ్రులకు మా కృతజ్ఞతలు. ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్.